So, because I'm in Netherlands, I think I should talk about Anne Frank. Well, clear up a couple misconceptions. First of all, the Gestapo didn't catch her, and this might seem trivial, but I think it's important to know all the organizations that were working to try and catch Jews. So the Gestapo were largely under the influence of the SS, and so too was their sister organization, the SD. But these were different organizations, and on paper, the Gestapo should have dealt with political opposition, whereas the SD should have dealt with espionage. However, more often than not, they overlapped. Now, one reason why the Nazis had so many organizations is that the leaders often contended with one another for power and influence. For instance, the Gestapo used to be under Göring's influence initially, whereas the SD was set up by Reinhard Heydrich before the Nazis even took power and was always a branch of Himmler's SS. So the SD primarily recruited spies and investigators, and Heydrich was described as one of the most notorious Nazi criminals because he set up the Einsatzgruppen. These were death squads that killed any undesirables. The Gestapo, on the other hand, although they were later brought under the SS's influence, they were initially just policemen. Now, for those of you who have watched Inglourious Basterds or are about to watch it again, look at the insignia on Hans Lander's uniform. He was a member of the SD, not the Gestapo, and so too was Karl Silberbauer. He was a member of the SD who organized the arrest of Anne Frank. Well, the actual arrest was carried out by the Orpo, who are just regular policemen as opposed to the security or criminal police. But in Netherlands, at least, there was one more group that were looking out for Jews, and they were the Hennick Column. This was a group of 50 or so men led by William Hennick that was tasked with finding Jews in the Netherlands. Well, they weren't exactly tasked with it, they were just Dutch collaborators that were rewarded for every Jew that they found. Hennick himself was a former taxi driver, amongst other things, but there was also Dries Riphagen, who was a career criminal, and there was also the Olie family, who were a family of boxers that used to tip off police and go around and beat up Jews. Anyway, this Hennick column worked throughout 1943, and they were probably responsible for capturing 8,000 Jews in Amsterdam alone. And for each Jew that they found, they were given 7.5 guilders, or about $50 in today's money. So these collaborators weren't forced to do anything because they were paid to do it and were rewarded, and as well as being anti-Semitic, they probably saw this as a good business opportunity.